Hi everybody. Today on the bright side we're going to be repotting my bay tree. So stick around and see what happens. This is the story of the bay tree. I'm not even sure when I got this tree, but it was long before I started doing bonsai. And so, of course, after I started doing, styling some trees, I looked at this and I said, hey, I originally grew it just to get bay leaves to cook with, right? And because they're so delicious in stew, right? So I had picked up this tree and it grew and grew, and we brought it in, took it out, brought it in, took it out yearly. And so finally, once I got into bonsai, I put some wire around it and away I went, bending it around, and it survived quite well. Good. So fast forward to this fall, I got pretty sick. I have a stenosis in my neck, and so I had to get it operated on, and that was something anyway. But I tried to bring this in to the house to overwinter it, just because, this one's precious. I don't want to lose it for sure. Well, they're all kind of precious actually, but and I dropped it, I dumped it, because my arms were so weak, because the nerves were impinged and my arms were so weak, I had dropped it outside. And so I took it and I just stuck it in a pot and threw the soil back in, and there it's been for some months. And now it is getting on to be spring, and it is full-blown repotting season. I'm going to be doing a video on, beginning to start to finish, how to pot a tree from nursery stock. So stay tuned for that. But today it's all about the bay tree. You can see some problems here with this tree. So first of all, the angle that this tree was plopped into the pot, it leans back a bit too much. Ooh, you see, the roots are very close to the surface. So I don't mind it leaning this way, but I sure don't want it to lean back. I want the top to be sort of forward and welcoming, right? So that, plus if you continue to go up the tree, there are some branches that are shooting back in towards the styling, like this one, so either I move it or I remove it, right? So we'll see. Let's get at it. So here I go, taking everything out of this pot. As you can see, the tree is done really well. I mean, look at this massive roots, right? And the soil seems, I haven't watered it for a bit, but you can see all these roots. And once I clean this out, you just reuse this pot for it, because the pot is about 2/3 in length. It is about 2/3 of the height of the tree. So, oh, look at that. There's a rock in here. How'd that get in there? And look at these wonderful roots. My goodness gracious. So I'm going to grab a little root rake, right? One of these things. You don't have to use one of these things. They're handy for getting lateral, making the roots move in sort of a lateral direction. I mean, what we're searching for in the end is a tree that has roots that kind of go like this, right? So they flow out laterally from the trunk, right? So a lot of these roots need to be adjusted. I find a lot of times if I just, go at the root ball like this, the soil just falls away. It breaks up all the clumps. Rather than trying to, tear everything and hurt the tree. So that's what I try to do. I don't always succeed, and we are going to have to do some root pruning on this. There's no question about that. And this needs refreshed soil and everything. So we've got kind of excited. The London Bonsai Club has got its very first show coming up in June. So I'm sure all the bonsai aficionados around town are getting set with their trees and trying to pick their submissions. And I am just the same. I am doing just the same thing. Look at that. The soil is just falling away. It's great roots. Okay, so I'll clean this up and then we'll come back to do some root pruning. Wow, look at the way this is split in two like that. It's so cool, right? I love this tree. It's great. Okay, put that over here for now. So the pot has its... I made this pot. This is a pot. This is one of mine. And what I did, and I'll show you this sometime, was I made a cylinder without a bottom on the wheel. And then when it was leather hard, I squashed it so that it was oval, and then set it on a slab. I fixed it on there and cut around it, and then put on the feet, cut the holes, and there you go. It's all set to be planted in. So I'm going to put a layer of soil in there so that it has some good drainage. Actually, I think I'm going to just use the soil that it came out of, because it's used to that. There's a bit of root. I'll put that down there. So there's a nice layer of soil there. Let's set that aside for a minute. Okay. Look at these roots. So what I want is roots flowing out. This one here is curling back, right? And I love the movement in it, right? But it's curling back. And as far as possible, I want to untangle these and sort them out. I think I'm probably going to have to take this one off because it is sticking straight down and preventing the tree from sitting on the angle that I want. So, by exposing the roots, we oftentimes are able to determine which side of the tree is the front or the best viewing angle. I mean, it should look good from all sides, but there's usually one side that's better than the other, and so we tend to isolate that and use that side to make our styling decisions. This side I think is less interesting than this side. So I think I'll turn this into the front of the tree, and this is starting to flow out the opposite side. See, I've got these big problems here. I've got decisions to make because, you know, this is not really flowing laterally, but it's separated out, and, you know, it's a nice major trunk, so I don't want to cut it off. You know, this is a major trunk. I don't want to cut it off, even though it's got this sort of nasty wound here, right? And then, but what I really want to keep is all of these feeder roots, you know, feeder roots like this. But down here, these roots can go, these ones down here. So, you know, the question is, you know, how much do you cut off, right? Well, you know, if you cut off, say, 1/3 to 1/2, the tree should be fine. You know, don't forget, they want to grow. I mean, they want to live, right? It's like the rest of us. So there's a rough pruning. And, you know, look at all the roots that have come off, right? So, but it will grow new roots for sure. This is a problem. This big branch here is a problem. So I've got my secateurs here, and I'll take them and I will chop this part off here. Right, so that these start to flow out and away, and that allows me to set the tree down in the pot, in the soil in the pot, at an angle that makes sense, right? This root here, I need to get some better lighting going. This root here can probably, you know, that one. I want the root base flat and the roots to point down away from the tree when I plant them in the soil. So, you know, this one is a little long. Whoops. Here, I need to get rid of these. They're confusing. And that can come away. You know, conventional wisdom would say to get rid of these aerial roots, but I don't know. You know, I haven't really done a lot of research on the bay tree, but you know, maybe that's a normal thing for it. So, you know. Oh, by the way, these are my root pruning scissors. I've designated them as the root pruning scissors. I don't cut roots because I don't cut roots with the other scissors because those are good stainless steel scissors. So there's usually lots of soil involved. And I don't know, I'm inclined to let this tree just sort of have its way in some regard. I think that's a little long. It can come out. The roots seem to be a little congested around here, and there's one that's coming straight down from the bottom. So I'm going to get rid of it, just like that. So this one, well, how's that? That looks like the angle that I want to plant the tree in. Right there. And I'm just going to make sure these roots are sort of out. That one can come off because it's poking straight up. That one too. I am going to nibble away at this. You know, as my bonsai gurus say, you know, there is no better time. You know, every time you repot, you really need to pay attention to the roots because that gives you the opportunity to make some changes. And, you know, you want the roots to be healthy, of course, because, you know, if the roots are healthy, the whole tree is healthy. And so the idea is that we want the tree to grow, obviously. So these are my little concave cutters. And I just wanted to get rid of that knob so that it starts to develop some taper in the roots as well. So there we go. There we go. All right. So grab my pot. And we'll see how this looks. I thought I would put it more or less off to the side. Something like that. All right. So I need to get some more soil to mound it up. Okay. So here we are, ready to plant the tree in the pot. And I just need to make sure that all of these roots, so I've mounded the soil up a little bit in the pot, and I'm going to make sure that these roots are down into the soil. And I really want to make sure that they are going laterally and they are going down and in. So that seems to be good. Now I can take some soil and put it around. All the way around here. Yeah. There you go, my little baby tree. And then the next thing I'm going to do is just sort of lift it up a little bit to make sure that all that soil gets down in between the roots. Nigel Saunders twigged me on too. So, super thanks to him. Nigel is sort of my clip and grow master. He only uses clip and grow. Doesn't use wire on his trees at all. And, you know, respect for taking a stand. That's really, you know, that's something, because wiring is really a practice that has really only been around for the last 100 years or so, which, you know, as I understand it, you know, shaping the trees, and it does, you know, let you get a sort of an immediate, you know, nice looking tree. But Nigel does this. He sort of lifts the tree up a little bit, like that, and makes sure that the soil gets right down in underneath all of those roots and covers them, right? Scars on there. Well, oh, look at that. You see this? So right there is a little branch that's growing back in towards the center of the styling. So it has got to go, right? There aren't that many branches on this tree, so I want to be really cautious about cutting things off, right? Because the leaves provide the food for the tree to grow, right? So I don't want to, you know, hurt it, but that's got to go, right? And now I think we're ready to water the tree. And I want to water this until the water starts to come out of the bottom of the pot. The other thing I'm going to do is put some stones on the surface to hold the tree in place while the roots do develop. Laying them out on the surface to hold the tree in place. Now that I've watered it, I'm just going to push the soil down a little bit. I'm going to have to make more of these oval pots. I like these. I think the trees look pretty good in these. So here, I'll give you a full view. There's the front of the tree. There's the right side. The left side. And the back. So there you have it, everybody. There's the repotting of the bay tree, and long may it stay in the pot so that it gets nice and healthy and makes lots of bay leaves and looks beautiful. So thanks, everybody. Please remember to like and subscribe. Liking encourages me to make more videos, and subscribing tells the algorithm that I'm worth looking at. So check out the like and subscribe thing. And if you have any comments or suggestions, any content that you would like to see, please make it in the comments section down below. All right, take care, everybody. See you on the bright side. Let's see that curve really nicely from this angle.